You may have noticed while traveling in some parts of Attleboro bamboo growing along the roadway. Originally planted for its decorative ambiance, running bamboo is a rapidly growing invasive species of plant. The plant is so invasive that it can break through concrete, sewer pipes, and take over an entire yard in less than 5 years. One homeowner has reached out to the Attleboro City Council and the Conservation Commission to raise awareness and help put an end to bamboo coming into the city. We reached out to Attleboro's conservation agent, Tara Martin, about the issue.
The problem with invasives in the city of Attleboro is we have several. We have what's called Japanese knotweed. We have the Japanese running bamboo. We also have bittersweet. And those are the three that are most common within the city of Attleboro that we've seen widespread throughout the city. The most invasive species that we've seen throughout the city is the running bamboo that Joanne Thibault is currently having a problem with. There's several outbreaks throughout the city, and they create thickets and groves. Commonly, they're planted for screening purposes. People typically plant them for a fence or a sound barrier. The problem with running bamboo is the word running, is once it has no other place to run, it will go outwards in a 365-degree angle. It grows underground, so it's very hard to control by mechanical methods, so you can't mow it. One of the destructive aspects of the running bamboo, number one, it can grow through asphalt, so it can destroy sidewalks, it can destroy foundations, septic systems, and in regards to a conservation aspect, is it will shade out any other vegetation that's in the area. So in turn, that would have an effect on the wildlife habitat. I received a phone call from Joanne Thibault in regards to her problem with the Japanese running bamboo that her neighbor had planted that unfortunately had creeped onto her property.
In the summer of 2011, my neighbor Sakura Restaurant planted approximately 130 feet of Philostachys running groove bamboo against our mutual property line. And since that time, it has invaded my yard, onto my property, and is around the base of my garage. You can see how thick the roots or the rhizomes are of the bamboo and how far they've traveled. They've traveled 6 or 7 feet into my yard, and they go up to the base of my garage. You can see right here how they're trying to form new plants. It's very short right now because it's not the growing season, but come next April, they will spring up. They will grow to eventually, if not monitored, 45 feet tall. They can get as thick as small trees in diameter, approximately 3.5 inches around, and then at that point the eradication is very, very difficult. Within the first 5 years is stage one. After that it becomes difficult to eradicate the next 5 and then the next 5, and then after that, after 15 years, it'll pretty much take over, and a lot of properties have to be abandoned, houses have to be abandoned, yards, fields. It's just too late to do anything at that point. So I'm trying to get it resolved before I have a grove here in my yard. For the greater good of Attleboro, I'd like to see an ordinance passed to prevent this from happening to somebody else, where they would have to put in a certain containment system, and they would have to have a buffer zone.
Number one, the bamboo should not be planted at all. There's other plants that can be planted to create a fence-like atmosphere, like evergreens, white cedars, red cedars, things of that nature that won't be so destructive in nature. And right now, there's no recourse once it's planted. So if someone next to you plants this plant and it creeps onto your property and pulls up your foundation or wraps around your septic system, it's a private issue. As a homeowner who lives next door, you spend a lot of money on your piece of property, and this is a plant that's out of your control. You didn't plant it, but it's come onto your property and is now becoming your problem. So how do you care for it if there's no regulation to help you remove this from your property? Currently, Japanese running bamboo is not on the state-listed invasive species list. In order to get on the invasive species list, you'd have to go through the Department of Environmental Protection, which is a state agency. In order to get amendments to, currently that is a problem. Invasives are not a part of the interests of the Act, although they should be. Because for an example, If you have Japanese running bamboo that's invading a local pond or a local river, it will shade out all the other vegetation that's in that habitat, which in turn affects the wildlife habitat, which is an interest of the Act. If you look into it, the USDA has actually written an article about how destructive and invasive the Japanese bamboo is. You think that would be enough to get on the state listed species list. But as of yet, the DEP has not acted to include this on the invasive species list. There's several cities and towns throughout the state that has a local ordinance currently. Cambridge, Massachusetts has a local ordinance. Connecticut also has a ban on Japanese running bamboo. Currently, the city does not have an ordinance. Municipal Council has asked us to look into it, and the Attleboro Conservation Commission has agreed. They think it's an important issue to address. If enough citizens within the city of Attleboro are educated on the topic and realize how destructive this plant is, number one, to property owners in regards to, like I said, their garage, their foundation, and the concerns that we have for the environment in regards to wildlife and native vegetation. If you drive around the streets of Attleboro, you see Japanese knotweed all up and down the river. It's a problem. It needs to be controlled. And it's up to the citizens of Attleboro to take on this issue and show the state that we're a city that's concerned with this invasive, and we want to put a stop to it.